Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us again here today. My name is Sean Fay Wolf.
My name's Alyssa Patello.
And my name's Mason Martin.
And this is 20Somethings TV. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about various different aspects of pop culture, from arts to entertainment, and not really any politics today, but just tons of interesting stuff that is happening in the world. And we're actually going to start off today by talking about quite the event in music, and we are going to be discussing One Old Town Road, which is currently the #1 song in the country. It is by newcomer Lil Nas X, and it went to #1 last week and stayed there this week. It broke streaming records and was streamed 143 million times, which absolutely shattered the record set by Drake's In My Feelings. However, the song's actually also caused quite a bit of controversy after it was kicked off of the country charts, despite billing itself as a country rap crossover. So what do we think of this? What do we think of, well, first of all, what do we think of the song? Any strong opinions on it?
I was expecting to kind of hate it because it sounds like a really weird crossover, but I listened to it and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I like that it mixes two genres that are typically not mixed. So I think it's really cool, unique, and I like it.
All right. How about you, Mason?
I don't like it at all. I just, number one, I don't like country. And number two, when I was listening to it, the beat, like it felt like it should have been going faster than it was, because like it felt like it was going to be a bop, but then it was at this weird tempo where like, okay.
You're waiting for the bass to drop? Is that it?
Well, like something like it can bounce to, and
yeah.
That's how the vibe I got from it, and just wasn't good for me.
Yeah. It is definitely not a song for everyone. I'll definitely attest to that. But clearly it's a song for enough people. I personally like it quite a bit, or I'm not in love with it, but it's a fine little song. It's definitely catchy. It's been stuck in my head for the past week or so. But I think it's really interesting that this song got kicked off the country charts, because can we all agree that it definitely has some very strong like country-inspired elements? You listen to it, and you immediately think country, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think the lyrics, yes, obviously, definitely. But if you listen to it, I mean, it's got a little bit of like banjo, I think, but it's very heavily auto-tuned, and I think right away like more hip-hop, I guess, with like little bits of country. I don't think it should be taken off the charts, but I definitely think hip-hop first, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely think it does have country, like this huge country feel to it. I think it's one of the things that turns me off from it, because I hear it and I'm just like, ooh, country. Like I don't like it. So I definitely think it has that feel to it.
Yeah, I think it has that twang to it. It does have the banjo, which incidentally, it's actually based on a sample. It's based on a sample from a 9 Inch Nails song, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a little ambient track they put together, and the producer just sampled and retweaked the beginning. But I think what's very interesting about it is the fact that a lot of people have been saying that one of the reasons that it got kicked off of the country charts is because Lil Nas X is African American. They're saying that that's one of the factors, because the official statement Billboard put out was that it does not embrace enough elements of modern country music to fit on the country charts. And so, any thoughts on that? Like, what do you think that race has something to do with it, or do you think it's something else? Or?
I think it might be because in the music industry they like everything to be cut and dry and put in their little segments, and he is, more of a hip-hop guy. Like, everything he does, like his brand is more like hip-hop, and you don't think country, and they are not really for that. So I think that might be why, which I don't agree with at all. I think it's stupid. But I don't know if it's about race, because there's a lot of awesome African American country singers that like I admire. So I don't know if it's so much about race.
Yeah, I mean, you do have people on the country charts like, Kane Brown and Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you ask me, like, if you look at them and they're just more, they're pretty much more cut and dry. It's like they certainly have their good tracks, but they're pretty by the numbers, down the line country artists. You can't mistake them for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just, from my point of view, it's like, you have like certain songs by white artists like, Taylor Swift's We Are Never Getting Back Together, and Alan Walker's released some R&B inspired songs, and they've been on the country charts despite, them deviating from country. So I don't know, I think there is definitely an argument to be made there, but I think it is a little bit up in the air there. It's certainly very interesting either way, though, and that is, of course, just one of the interesting topics that we're going to be discussing here tonight. We do have some other, topics that we'll be discussing, and we will get to those in a few minutes. See you there.
Hey everybody, welcome back to 20Somethings TV. My name's Alyssa Vitello, and we're here with
LJ.
And today we're going to talk about LJ's student film, You're Going to Ruin His Life. So, can you tell everybody a little bit about this film?
So this film is, I think, the most important project I've actually worked on up until this point in my life. I think down the road we'll also do important things, but definitely right now this is the single most important thing I've done. And it is a film completely inspired by true stories of sexual assault survivors that were told to me directly. It's an allegorical piece that will follow one specific individual leading up to an event of a sexual assault that is a real thing that happened. And it also focuses on visualizing some of the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder that a lot of survivors feel for the remainder of their lives.
Wow. So, why did you want to make this movie in particular?
So this is actually something I never thought I was going to make. I guess as an artist, I'm much more about visual and kind of like funny things, so this was totally out of my comfort zone. And what happened actually, so I was in Berlin last semester. I was actually studying abroad in Prague, and I was on a trip to Berlin, and this is when all the stuff with Dr. Ford and Brett Kavanaugh was happening. So I was out of the country, and I was just so heated. I didn't even think I had the capacity to get that angry about something, and I feel like as a filmmaker, once I get to that point, that's when I'm very motivated to make something about it. And so then I posted on Facebook saying essentially, if you have a story and you feel comfortable telling me, please feel free to reach out. I want to hear it. I want to make an accurate film. And the scariest part about that post was how many people responded in a short amount of time. Within the first 3 days, I had over 30 individuals telling me stories. And these are people scattered throughout my life, people of all ages, people who don't even necessarily like me, just everyone telling me these stories. And that was, I think, the moment where I was like, I have to do something. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's so powerful. Is there anything that you wish you'd known before making this?
So definitely making a film, especially about this content matter, you have to be very specific in the way that you explain things to the actors, and there are children in this film, so that was a challenge to cast them and let their parents know essentially what the whole film was about. Also, I did a whole party scene, and I had never directed 20 people before, so if I could do that, maybe get a megaphone, I think that would have gone a little better.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds very difficult. A
Yeah.
lot of voices and everybody getting crazy. But what has URI and film media taught you?
So definitely URI has given me a super duper strong base for filmmaking in general. I feel, being in Keith's classes, basically all of his production classes throughout my college experience has given me just an abundance of information, and definitely making this project when I got on set, even though I have not directed something at this scale before, I did feel really, really confident about what happens on set and the things that I was supposed to do. So definitely URI gave me a really, really solid base to do something like this.
That's awesome. As a filmmaker, is there anything you'd wish you'd known before coming to URI?
As a filmmaker, well, I actually transferred here from the Community College of Rhode Island my second year after getting some gen eds done, and I honestly did not really know I wanted to do film. I had always kind of done videos, but never really thought it was something I wanted to do. I mean, before coming here, again, URI was just was at the Community College of Rhode Island. You can transfer to RIC or URI, and URI just always had more of an appeal to me. But yeah.
So you're finishing up your time here at URI. what are your hopes for life after graduation?
Well, hopefully after I get this film done, I'm going to be submitting this to festivals around New England. Hopefully I'll get into a few of those. I'm also hopefully going to be moving to New York by 2020. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there, but again, I think that a lot of the skills that I gained at my time here is really putting me in a pretty good position where I feel, fairly confident in my ability to actually work in a professional setting.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for telling us all about your film. We're so excited. It screens May 10th in Edwards Auditorium. Make sure to check into that. And thanks for staying tuned. So we're going to go back to the roundtable.
All right, welcome back. We are now going to be discussing a breakthrough in science. Obviously, science is very, very important. And so to talk about this particular very, very important discovery, we're going to send it over to Alyssa. So, Alyssa, tell us about this very, very important discovery.
So, the first image ever captured of the black hole was released in April, and it was captured by a global network of over 200 researchers. And might I add that a women data analyst and statistic person, Katie Bowman, was the one who came up with the statistical formula to capture this image. So it's been released, and of course a ton of memes have been released too with this image, but it's a pretty very important step in our history as terms of space exploration goes. So yeah, what do we think about this?
I think it's awesome. I mean, to finally capture a picture of a black hole, which we thought was impossible at first, that's huge. What else can we do now,
Yeah, it kind of, really gets you thinking about what else there is out there. It's like, if our technology has gotten to the point where, obviously photography works by capturing and processing light, and a black hole is literally by design something that, sucks in light itself. And I think that just that we now have the technology to process something like that is just so cool. So yeah, it really does get you thinking about what there is next. Technology is advancing so fast, I feel like sometimes we just take it for granted, but that's just so cool to think of that.
That's a good observation, and I think it's probably going to spur on a lot of different things within our culture. I can see, a lot of movies and TV shows and just a lot of content being made about this kind of a thing because it's so different and so unique. I feel like I haven't really thought about black holes that much until this discovery, you know what I mean? Nobody just thinks oh, I wonder what the black holes in our universe are doing. So it's really interesting, and I'm excited to see what kind of content's released after this.
I hope we get a lot more kind of sci-fi movies with black holes. Now that we have a picture of them, a more accurate description. The last thing that I can remember is Interstellar, and I love that movie. And the way they depicted black hole, I liked it. Some people may not agree with how it should have gone, but I liked it, and I'm curious to see where filmmakers like us go with this.
Well, I have to say, I will say that I do feel a little bit cheated because I cannot tell you how much time I put into playing Super Mario Galaxy growing up. There were black holes all over that game. Every time you fall off a pit, you get sucked into a black hole, and they looked nothing like that. They did not look like that at all. And so, you know what? It just really gets me thinking,
They have to redesign the game.
Yeah, I know. It's Nintendo, get on that. Re-release Super Mario Galaxy, just put a PNG image of that just rotating in the spiral below every single level. I think he did that, millions and millions of copies. It's printing money, really.
Oh, yeah.
Also, that picture doesn't do it just the black hole justice because it's huge. It's huge, bigger than our sun, at least, I think,
6.5 billion times, yeah.
Right. So that thing's huge.
Kind of scary.
Right, really scary.
They're out there. It can suck us up and destroy us. Anyway, moving on, we do have several other topics that we're going to be talking about today, and we will get to those in just a minute. So, sit tight, and we will be with you guys in just a second. Hey guys, welcome back to the Roundtable, and we are going to be having a new segment today that we are going to be calling Hype. And the first segment of Hype, we're going to be talking about a trailer for, one of the newest Disney movies coming out, that being The Lion King. Lion King is obviously one of the biggest and most successful, traditionally 2D animated Disney movies of all time. And they are now doing a photorealistic remake of it, with the CGI animals and all that. Looks like it could certainly be very interesting, but I certainly have some thoughts about how good it will be, and I'm sure you guys do too. So what do you think about the new Lion King reboot, based on what you've seen so far?
Well, I'm
fairly excited. I think that this is more, I don't know if you guys saw The Jungle Book, but I think this is more about Disney trying to flex their animation. I feel like Disney has done that throughout history. Once they got 2D, and now they're getting to 3D, like photorealistic stuff, which I think is super cool. I don't think I'm going to expect anything super duper incredible. It's going to be The Lion King, but I am excited to see how the animation is. I feel like that's going to be super duper interesting.
Yeah, honestly, from the trailer, the animations look so beautiful. I mean, anybody who's watched Lion King knows that it's such a beautiful movie in itself. I mean, personally, I haven't seen it all, but I know that visually it's so stunning, and to be able to flex their animation skills that way is so cool. And I mean, I don't know, I think I'll go see it.
Okay. First of all, let me say, you haven't seen The Lion King?
No.
That's weird, and you're weird. Second of all, the, I don't know, for me, I'm just kidding, Alyssa, I don't think you're but, you know, personally, I agree. I did see the, what do you call it, the Jungle Book remake. My family dragged me out to see that. I wasn't really that interested, but I did see it, and it was incredibly impressive on a technical standpoint, but it just didn't have, like the animals looked like real animals, but they just weren't able to be as expressive and just fluid as the animated ones, which were obviously more stylized and anthropomorphized. And I feel the same way watching the Lion King trailer. It's like I recognize all of these famous scenes from the movie, and it's just they're doing them with these animals that look like real animals, but that also means that real animals can't emote the same way that the animated animals can.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a really interesting take, and I feel like lately too in the media, with things like Love, Death, and Robots, and even the new Dumbo one they did, I feel like they're, again, just trying to flex their animation skills more than anything else. So I'm really not expecting to be like emotionally overwhelmed by this film in any way, like, but I think, again, visually, that's all I'm excited for in this film. And I know everyone loves The Lion King. When it was on Broadway, people went crazy.
I saw that. It was an incredible show.
Yeah, it's such a thing where it has such a following that I think they're really relying on that, which, you know, it's kind of cool. People who love it, who saw it when they were young, they can go back and see it and all that. You know, I think it'll be fun for people.
Yeah. And you mentioned the new Dumbo. That one flopped, so we'll have to see if that's a warning signal for this one. But yeah, we'll definitely have to see.
Yeah.
And we'll also be talking about another film that we are very hyped for in just a few minutes. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to 20Somethings TV. My name is Mason Martin, and in this segment, I'm going to be interviewing someone whose film I did work on for her senior year. Everyone, please welcome Ariana Rizzo.
Hello.
Woo. Fake clap, real clap? No? Okay. So your film's name is Linked. Do you want to tell us more about Linked?
Yeah, so Linked is about a man named Ben Richards who was wrongfully accused of a crime after his DNA was switched because of a careless cop.
Oh, all right. And how did you come up with this film?
So over the summer, my mom did 23andMe to find out more about her ancestry. And my dad and I were joking around saying, what if your DNA was switched with someone else's and you got accused of a crime that you didn't commit and stuff like that? So Linked was then born. But over the summer, after I wrote the script, I did read an article about a man who was wrongfully accused of a crime, who was then released out of prison 6 years later and replaced with a real man who committed a murder. So it was kind of freaky that after my film was written, it kind of really happened.
Yeah, and it could happen to your mom too.
Well, let's hope not.
Let's hope not for that. So I want to ask, what has your eye in the film media department taught you to help you make this project?
So URI has been, and the film program in general, have been amazing experiences for me, and I wish I didn't have to graduate in May, and I wish I could stay here forever. But URI has, in general, being in the film classes that I've taken with Keith, and just any film class in general, and just being around all these great people that I've met in classes and stuff like that, it's just taught me a lot about leadership, responsibility, teamwork, and it's been really great to meet everyone and learn how to really put a film together and like what it really means to be part of something. And I just really wish that I didn't have to say goodbye to everyone, so it's been great.
It sucks. But
Yeah.
like you said, you're graduating in May. What are your goals after graduation?
After graduation, I'm hoping to do anything I can in production, whether it's, you know, I'd love to work on movies, but if I can't get there right away, I'd love to do anything with commercial work, freelance, wedding videography, wedding photography, anything that I can get my hands on a camera for, or anything on set in general, anything I can do.
All right. Thank you for joining us
today.
We hope Link comes out very well from 20Somethings TV. Now we'll get back to the regular 20Somethings Roundtable discussion. Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to this new segment of 20Somethings TV, which we are calling Hype. Today we are going to be discussing two of the most divisive and yet also hyped movies of the past few years. First of all, let me just introduce our guest panelist. What's your name, young man?
Christian. My name is Christian Amante.
It's Christian Amante, everybody. Anyway, we're going to be talking about, like I said, two of these new movies coming out. The first of which being the newest property from DC, namely the new trailer for the Joker movie. Obviously, this is, big deal, one of the most popular villains out there. And to discuss that further, we're going to bounce it over to Mason. So what do we have to say about this, Mason?
So recently, the new trailer for the new movie Joker came out, and guess what? It has a new Joker. So it's not Jared Leto, it's not Heath Ledger, obviously, but it is Joaquin Phoenix. Now, I have views on this trailer, but I want to get your guys' thoughts about this trailer first.
Okay, well, I'll say this. I have not really been following the DC Extended Universe so far. I will say this. It's just like, it's just not, it hasn't really interested me the same way the MCU has. It just seems like it just seemed kind of scattered. Like I saw the trailers before and like nothing really interested me. I will say though, I did see the trailer for this new movie and I don't know if I would say I'm excited for it, but it did catch my eye. It did seem like a very interesting direction to take that. Not necessarily a bad one, I'll say that. What do you think?
So I found it interesting. So I was actually going through the YouTube comments earlier, and they did mention, so like it was mostly positive comments. They're all like, "Oh wow, this looks amazing! Like I've seen this trailer like every single day for like 40, however long." And I'm thinking to myself, it's really a strange concept because you have the Joker who's like normal, because I grew up with like Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, the Christopher Nolan films, and knowing the Joker throughout all this, and his origin story is he gets thrown into a vat of acid and becomes some kind of like psychopath. And in this one, he's just kind of bullied as a clown and becomes the world's most intelligent villain going against Batman. I didn't quite understand that, but I'm not I'm more skeptical when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to DC, we do need a good movie though.
Yeah, definitely. And
Not to put too fine a point on it, but
and you're bringing up that point where there was no vat of acid in the trailer. And like you said, he just got bullied into craziness, which I guess it's a new concept and maybe it might work. Right, but I was looking for the original, the vat of acid that made him crazy. And also, I don't particularly like this actor. I don't think he gives off the Joker vibe for me. But I do, however, like the new makeup they've done for him.
yeah, I think it's definitely, a bit more of a traditional clownish approach, and I think that definitely has the potential. Yeah, I'm personally someone where I'm just like, if there's, changes to the story, as long as it makes a good story, I'm in favor of it, even if it is a little bit different. So we'll definitely see about that. And of course, that's not the only movie coming out that has people not only talking, but also split. That, of course, being the biggest of all hype trains, the new Star Wars movie. So, yeah, the new trailer for that just dropped a few days ago, and would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. So I'm a geek, born and raised. When it comes to Star Wars, it's like my life. And so when it came to, because my friends, we literally referenced Star Wars. If there's a meeting of us at any point and none of us says a Star Wars quote randomly, it's a weird day.
I feel that.
So when it comes to the newer Star Wars movies, I was always, the J.J. Abrams one I wasn't a big fan of. There was a lot of lens flares and I couldn't quite tell what was happening the entire time. The newer ones were okay, but this one actually, I thought personally, was actually a decent trailer. I really liked everything that was going on. At the very end we got that laugh from Emperor Palpatine, the actor of which is still alive, so there's a decent chance that he's in this film, and I don't know, I'm pretty hyped about it.
You see, I saw the trailer, and yes, I'm hyped. Like they said, it's going to be an end of the saga for it, as they said that in the trailer, and Rey's amazing. I love her. She's beautiful. Mwah. But I'm very confused about this title. I think that's the one thing that I'm confused about, and like the whole internet.
A lot of people have voiced confusion about that.
Why the rise of Skywalker?
They've always had a weird thing with titles when it came to Star Wars. For a lot, it was changed like mere moments before they were actually releasing, when it came to the original trilogy, they wanted to call it Revenge of the Jedi. But then there was this whole philosophical argument that Jedi don't get
have
revenge.
revenge.
So they're like, oh, let's change it to... So the fact that they've gone with this, and they've probably, since then they've upgraded, I'm sure there's millions of freaking studio executives, everyone going after it.
Everyone
And
whispering
it's
each other's
not
ear.
just George
Yeah.
Lucas with his own creative vision, trying to keep as much, of 20th Century Fox out of his hair as possible. This is like Disney. They had a full-blown panel of people deciding upon this title, and I kind of agree with you guys. It's a really weird title.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this from my perspective in terms of the trailer. When I saw the trailers for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I just got really hyped for them. I just could not wait to see that. This trailer for me, even title aside, the trailer for me just didn't really have that same effect. It was just like, I mean, it looked like it had the potential to be. It didn't look bad, let's put it that way.
Right.
But I just did not feel the same, sense of just, I need to go and see where this story continues to go. And that has nothing to do with my thoughts on The Last Jedi. I actually liked that movie. But I don't know, it just seemed like has potential, but didn't really
Only
grab me
time
from the
will
get-go.
tell.
Yeah, it was excellent to hear the Senate's laugh, though.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And Lando Calrissian.
And yeah, indeed. Yeah, definitely have a lot of potential there. A lot of potential all around. You obviously don't know much about these trailers until the movies drop. You can guess, you can speculate, but we're all just riding the hype
eyes
train
open.
until then. Keep your eyes open. And that's about all the time that we have here today on 20-Somethings TV. This has been The Roundtable. My name is Sean Fay Wolf.
My name is Christian Amante.
And my name's Mason Martin.
And we are also like to give a big shout out to our panelists, Alyssa and LJ. They were on here before, and we had some great discussions there. I think we had a good talk here tonight. And we will have many more discussions next week, various other topics. And we'll see you guys then. This has been 20-Somethings TV. Over and out.